Today we are going to start with this 11th so till where you have read Hare Krishna? Because it was a big purport.
हरे कृष्ण.
कौन से पेज तक पढ़े आप? आपका आवाज नहीं आ रहा है प्रभु जी. Somebody can tell me. Hare Krishna. Somebody can tell me.
आवाज नहीं आ रहा है माता जी. हरे बोल.
हाँ बोलिए.
तैत्रीय उपनिषद माता जी.
पेज नंबर
तो इसमें नहीं दिख रहा है मेरे को. आई थिंक फर्स्ट पेज ही चल रहा है. तैत्रीय उपनिषद का एक टॉपिक आएगा.
तो हो गया था ना हिरण्य में. Anyone else can tell? कहाँ है तैत्रीय उपनिषद? कौन से इसमें है पेज में? ये समान विक्षे पुरुषो निमग्नो, ये हो गया आपका? हरि बोल. अरुणा.
माता जी बुक में पेज नंबर 474 माता जी.
Yeah, got it.
हाँ.
In the Taittiriya Upanishad 2.4, it is said, Anandam Brahmano Vidvan na Bidheti Kadachan. After achieving the loving service of the Supreme Lord, a practitioner becomes fearless. Atmanandamaya Ananda Atma Brahma Pucham Pratishtha. The Lord is full of ecstasy. The impersonal Brahman is his bodily effulgence. He is a source of Brahman. Taittiriya states, Yad vai tat sukrutam raso vai saha rasamya evayam labdavanandi bhavati yesha hi avevanandayati atha so abhayam gato bhavati. When one understands the personality of Godhead, the reservoir of Krishna, the reservoir of pleasure Krishna, he actually becomes transcendently blissful. He alone is the source of all pleasure. Therefore, by knowing him, one becomes fearless. Anando Brahmeti Vijanat. Anando, mute your phones. Haribol. Mute your phones. Usha Shankari Mataji, mute your phone. Satyabhama Mataji, mute your phone. So it is said here, Anandam, Anando Dhi Evaha, Khilvi Mani, Bhutani Jayanti, Anandena Jatani Jivanti, Anandam Prayanti, Abhisham Vishanti, Tad Brahmeti Upashita. By undergoing austerity, one realizes the blissful Supreme Brahman, from whom all living entities are born, by whom the living entities are maintained, and to whom the living entities enter at the time of annihilation. One should worship him alone. So in this paragraph, very clearly it has been said, by performing devotional service, one experiences Ananda, Rasovai Saha, because Krishna is full of rasa. And devotional service is full of rasa. Rasa is a transcendental mellow which is experienced in personal relationship. This is a very subtle thing, like mother-child relationship. You ask the child what rasa the mother is experiencing or what rasa the child is experiencing. Ask both of them. This rasa cannot be put into writing. One cannot write and give how much he loves others. Can you explain what is love? It's not so easy to explain. Just by saying, oh, I have Dandavat Brahm, I just love you so much. It cannot happen. This love to Krishna is such a thing which cannot be expressed by the words, just by the action. So it is full of rasa. In material relationship, what we experience rasa is only flickering. And it is only having lust. But what rasa is experienced in the transcendental world or in the spiritual platform, that rasa is full of bliss. Anando adhyeva khilbimani bhutani jayanti. It is said, the bliss comes from Krishna only. From Krishna, the rasa starts. From Krishna only we can experience bliss. Though we may try to find happiness in this material world by changing relationships, this happiness again goes on changing, and it is relative. It's also relative. That has been mentioned here. Because Krishna is full of ecstasy. A person, whatever he is having, that only he can give to others. He is full of ecstasy. That is why he can give that ecstatic bliss to others also. Whoever serves him experiences that ecstatic bliss. Now, what Chandogya Upanishad says about why we are speaking all these things, or why Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is speaking all these things, because of this word Niranjan, Niranjana. Let us go back to this Niranjana. What is the meaning of Niranjana? One without any material designation. The moment one aspires designation, he only experiences misery. That is why Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu speaks, Sarvopadi vinirmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhakti ruchyate. So what is it Uttama Bhakti? Where there is no desire for any position. Sarvopadi vinirmuktam. The moment a person hankers to be recognized, it is exactly opposite in the spiritual world. The moment you hanker to be recognized, then there is only misery which is experienced. That hankering for recognition acts like an impediment in the path of devotional service. So that is why it says Sarvopadi vinirmuktam. All padis, just give it up. I should be known like this, like that. No, you have to give it up. The Chandogya Upanishad now, what it states about Niranjan, Niranjan, Anjana, Niranjana. Anjana means position. Niranjana means no desire. Om iti etadaksharam udgita upasita. One should worship with the hints of the Samaved, that inexhaustible Lord, who is not different from Omkara. Chandogya Upanishad states, Sarvam Kaludam Brahma. That Jalaniti Santa Upasita. Whatever we see is a manifestation of Brahman. Everything is created, maintained, animated by Brahman. Therefore, one should peacefully worship him. Chandogya Upanishad is stated, Acharyadi eva vidya viditaha sadhistam prapayatiti. One should learn devotional service from an acharya and worship the Lord. Then he will certainly attain his goal of life. Chandogya also states, Sa Atma Tattvam Asi Shveta Ketu iti. You are that soul, O Shveta Ketu. Chandogya states, Acharyavan Purusho Vedaha. One who approaches a bona fide spiritual master can understand everything about spiritual realization. Chandogya states, Atmai Vedam Sarvamiti Sa Eva Sava Esha Evam Pashyanevam Manyan Manvan Evam Vijanan Atma Ratir Atma Krida Atma Mithuna Atmanandah Saswarada Bhavati. A practitioner who knows that this entire world is a form of the Lord, who is self-satisfied, self-sporting, and engaged in enjoying pastimes with his associates, thus lives with the Lord as a distinct entity. Such a person then attains loving service to the Lord, becomes freed from material bondage. Chandogya states, Atha ya eshaha samprasado sma charirat samuthaya param jyotirupaha sampatyah svena rupena vinishpadiyatah esha atmeti hovachetat amrutam bhayam etad brahmeti tasyah va etasyah brahmano nama satyamiti. Then the liberated soul who has achieved the causeless mercy of the Lord leaves his body and attains the supreme effulgent Lord. He is then reinstated in his constitutional position as a servant of the Lord. He reaches the conclusion that the Lord is the immortal, fearless, and almighty supreme soul. Chandogya also states, Sa uttamaha purusha sa etatra pariyeti jakshat kridan ramamanaha tam va evam deva atmanam upasite. The topmost person is he who achieves the Supreme Lord through devotional service. He enjoys food, sports in the abode of the Lord. The demigods worship that Lord. Chandogya Upanishad also states Syama Chavalam Prapadye Shavalat Shyamam Prapadye Vidhuya Papam Dhutva Shariram Kritam Kritatmah Brahmalokam Abhisham Bhavam. For receiving the mercy of Krishna, I surrender unto his energy, Radha. And for achieving the mercy of his energy, I surrender unto Krishna. By worshipping them, a practitioner becomes freed from all sinful reactions, and being fully satisfied goes to the supreme abode or eternal abode of the Lord. So let us see what Chandakya Upanishad says. So Chandakya says that Krishna is non-different from Omkara. So what is this Omkara? Omkara is the position of Krishna. Because we are describing the word Niranjan. Niranjan means keep up material position. That means we should recognize the position of Krishna, not hankering to have our own position. So naturally, what is the position of Krishna? Krishna is that Omkara. A-U-Am. He is the one from where internal energy, marginal energy, external energy, everything emanates from him. That is why if you just say Om, it refers to Krishna. Om iti aksharam Brahma. This Om means it refers to Krishna. It is the position of Krishna. Like if you have to call somebody who is an engineer, you say, engineer sahab, aiya. That person is understood whom he is called. He understands that they are calling me. So Om actually refers to Krishna. Sometimes, because of ignorance, while chanting Om, people, they meditate on Lord Shiva. Om is actually the position of Krishna, that how he is a controller of internal, marginal, external energy of Krishna. So that is the position of Krishna. So how we have to understand this? Acharyavan Purushaha Vedaha. To understand this, the whole scriptures actually boils down to this thing, that Krishna is the controller. Ishavasyam idam sarvam. Everything belongs to Krishna. The soul also belongs to Krishna. The Jada Brahman also belongs to Krishna. Para Brahman also belongs to Krishna. Internal belongs to Krishna. External belongs to Krishna. Jiva Tattva also belongs to Krishna. Everything belongs to Krishna. To understand this, one has to approach the spiritual master. Acharyavan Purusham Vedaha. To understand this, Purusham Vedaha, one has to approach the Acharya. Without Acharya, impossible to understand this ultimate truth. And if you understand this ultimate truth, it is very clearly said, one can experience that bliss. So about the bliss has been spoken in the Mundaka Upanishad, but in the Chandogya Upanishad, what has been stated? That this entire world is a form of the Supreme Lord. Atmai Vedam Sarvamiti. Everything actually belongs to Krishna, and it is the form of Krishna only. Everything is again the form of Lord. That means all the forms emanate from that supreme form. That is why one of the feature of Krishna is Brahman. Now, Brahman, Sarvam Kalvidam Brahman. That means Lord is there everywhere. There is not a place where Lord is not there. That is why Vishati iti sarvatraha Vishnu. To understand this, that Lord is present everywhere, then he can understand that everything actually belongs to Krishna. That is why it is said, Sthavara Jangama Dekhi na dekhe Tara Murti, Sarvatra hoye nija ishta deva spurti. See Krishna in everything. When you are seeing movable, when you are seeing unmovable, when you are seeing immovable things or movable things, Sthavara Jangama Dekhi. Na dekhe Taramurti. You are not seeing that form as they are. You are seeing Krishna in everything. Like if I have to look at a tree, I'm not seeing that as a tree. I'm seeing Lord in the tree. That is how Krishna is present as Paramatma in every living entity. And also when I see a Jadavastu, there also Lord is there as Brahman. So if that type of chakshu or that type of vision is developed, then Krishna is not lost. then there is no Maya. Everything belongs to Krishna. And where is the question of Maya? So it's very important how to train our eyes. That's why when we chant Om Agyanati Mirandasya Gyananjana Shalakya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Why we are going to the spiritual master? So that he can put that anjan, a special ointment, by which our illusion is completely removed. And because of this illusion, we see something different from Krishna. Anything you see separate from Krishna, that is Maya. So what is Maya? Very simple understanding. You see something different from Krishna, it is Maya. Sab Jagat Maya hai. Our vision, because we are not able to connect anything to Krishna, connect everything to Krishna. Now what Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad states, let us see. Let's see, for the word Niranjan, Saraswati Thakur is giving such a wonderful explanation. That how this material position entangles us and how freedom from this material position uplifts us. So for that, one should understand first his constitutional position. And the constitutional position being subservient to Krishna, that means Krishna is the master, Krishna is the controller, Krishna is having everything. Everything is possessed by Krishna. Now, in the Chandogya Upanishad, we saw that how mercy of Krishna, by mercy of Krishna, one gets Radha. By mercy of Radharani, one gets Krishna. So energy and energetic, both has been spoken. Energy is Radharani, energetic is Krishna. Now, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad states, Atmanam evam eva priyam upasitah. One should worship the Supreme Lord, who is most dear to everyone. Aranyaka states, Brihadaranyaka states, Maitasmin samvadistah indro vaikunto parajitah seneti vayaham etam upasa iti. Do not argue on this topic. I worship that Lord, Hari, who is full of six opulences, who resides in Vaikuntha, and whose associates are unconquerable. Brihad Aranyaka further states, Yatagni Shudraha Vishfulingaha Vyucharanti Evamevasmad Atmanah Sarve Pranah Sarve Lokaha Sarve Devaha Sarvani Bhutani Vyucharanti Tasyo Upanishad Satasya Satyamiti. Just as small sparks emanate from a big fire, similarly all living entities, all planets, all demigods, all material elements, such as earth, emanate from the His instructions are the truth. Brihadaranyaka states, Ya etadaksharam gargi vidittvasma lokat praitis sa brahmanah. O Gargi, one who is acquainted with that infallible truth by which one transcends death is a Brahmana. Brihadaranyaka states, Brahmeva san brahapyeti tamevam vedanu brahmanah vividishanti. He becomes as good as Brahman and attains Brahman. The Brahmanas can understand that Supreme Brahman, the Lord, through the Vedas. Brihad Aranyaka states, Atmavaha are drashtavya shotavyaho mantavyaha nidhi dhyasitavyaha. O Maitri, one should constantly follow, see, hear, and remember the Supreme Soul, Lord Govinda. Brihadaranyaka states, Te deva satyam evopasate tadetat tri aksharam satyamiti. The demigods worship the Supreme Truth. Therefore, these syllables, sa, ti, satyam, sa, ti, satyam. In this way, Brihadaranyaka, let us see, Brihadaranyaka states what it states. Who is a Brahmana? We have studied this in second chapter, 7th verse. This verse is quoted by Srila Prabhupada in the purport. When Prabhupada wants to describe about what is Kripnataha, Karpanya Dosho Pahata Svabhava, Pruchhamitvam Dharma Sammulateta, Yashreyasyad Nishchitam Bruhitanme Shishyasteham Shadi Mam Tvam Prapannam, where Arjuna states, I have been afflicted by a disease known as Kripnataha. At that time, describing what is Kripanaha and what is Brahmana, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, what it states about Brahmana has been spoken. Ya itad aksharam gargi Viditvasmal, lokat praiti sa brahmana, viditvasmal, one who knows the goal of life, one who knows how to utilize this human body, not just waste the time like cats and dogs, Prabhupada writes in that. What is Kripanataha? Yova etad aksharam gargi aviditvasmal lokat praiti sa kripanaha, aviditvasmal, he doesn't know, he's just wasting the time. Time is such a precious treasure which has been given by Krishna. Time belongs to Krishna. Time is identified by Krishna as himself. So Krishna says, don't argue in this topic. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says, don't argue in this topic. Krishna is the Lord of Vaikuntha. He has all 6 opulences, that has been told. So in this way, one who understands the Supreme Person, he is a Brahmana. And that is Satyam, Sa Ityam, Satyam. 3 syllables are there. Sa, that person. Ti, Am. So that person has to be understood. Te Devaha Satyam. Te Deva. Even the demigods want to worship him. That person who is worshipped by the demigods, Te Devaha Satyam. Evopasatehe. Tad etad tri aksharam. Satyamiti. So 3 words are there. 3 aksharam. What is the 3 aksharam? That is Sa, Ti, Am. Sa, Ti, Am. So it came from where? It came from Sa, Satyam, Sa, Te Devaha, who is worshipped by the demigods, and he is that absolute truth. He is that absolute truth. And in this way, 3 syllables, where Krishna is completely defined, that even the demigods are worshipping Krishna. Krishna says, Aham Adiri Devanam, I am the source of all the demigods. Now, Shvetashvatara Upanishad, what it states about Niranjana, that is giving up the middle position. It is stated, Brahmo Vido, Viditvaha Linaha, Brahmani Tatpara Yoni Muktaha. Knowing that this Supreme Brahman is beyond material creation, the knowers of Brahman become inclined towards him. As a result of serving him, they become free from 5 types of misery. What is it? 5 types of misery? Living within the womb, taking birth, becoming diseased, growing old, dying. Shvetashvatara Upanishad states, Bhoktir Bhava Gyatva Devaha Muchyate Sarva Pashaihi. If one understands the Supreme Lord, in other words, if one worships him with full knowledge, he becomes free from all bondage. Now see the conclusion of why we are worshipping Krishna, so that we can free from ourselves from this 5 miseries. Why should we worship Krishna? Because we are part and parcel of Krishna. Everything belongs to Krishna. So in this way, now the conclusion, why we are worshipping him? Because we should get freed from this bondage. Shvetashvatara also says, Jnana Dvava Ajao Ishanisau. Both the Lord and the living entities are spiritual. Of the two, the Lord is great, omnipotent, omniscient. Living entities are minute, subordinate, spiritual sparks, and therefore eligible to possess limited knowledge and be controlled by Maya. But both are eternal. Shvetashvatara says, Haraha Sharatmanav Ishate Devaha Ekaha. Although the living entities are inexhaustible, by proudly considering themselves the enjoyers of the material objects, they are prone to conditioned by Maya. Both material nature and living entities are energies of and controlled by the Lord. The Supreme Lord is one without a second. Shvetashvatara Upanishad states, Gyatva Devam Sarva Pasha Pahinihi. When one realizes the Supreme Lord in truth, he becomes free from all bondage. Shvetashvatara says, Nataha Param Viditavyam Ikinchit. The Lord alone is the Supreme Lord alone is the living entity's object of meditation. Again, Shvetashvatara states, Evam Atmani Krihyate. So Satyanevaha Nainam Tapasa Yo Anupashyati. The Supreme Lord is situated within the core of everyone's heart. One who searches after that Supreme Lord through meditation or austerity can see him within his heart. So in this way, various quotations are given from Shvetashvatara Upanishad, which we'll do tomorrow also. So there it is very clearly said in Shvatashata Upanishad that there is a distinct difference between Lord and the living entities. At the same time, there is commonness also. And what is that commonness? Both are spiritual. That means our relationship with Krishna is also spiritual. Though we are minute spiritual sparks and limited in knowledge also, and also controlled by Maya. But one thing is common. What is that? I and Lord both are eternal. That means I and my relationship with Lord is also eternal. And living entities are also inexhaustible. But the only problem comes when we consider ourselves as enjoyer. That is where the problem starts. The moment we think we are enjoyers, then we are bound in this material world. I'll stop here. Any questions you can ask? See the vast knowledge of Bhakti Siddhanta Sasi Thakur quoting from so many Upanishads. We should not miss reading the purports, because purports are actually the realizations of the acharyas. Any questions? No questions? Okay, announcement. Now marathon is going to start. Every time we are reading, that reading should be put in practical, in practice also. So all of you should now engage in giving their targets, how much books they will do. Just see here, we have 32, 34 students here. Then we should take the target also. Yes, Jumur?
Mataji, I have one question regarding studies. So all these scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, then Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and all the Upanishads that they are quoted. Is there a sequence to study them, or one can do it in parallel? Like while reading Bhagavad Gita, when one starts to read Bhagavad Gita, can they read and understand the Upanishads, or it should be done in some series?
Upanishad directly is not available for studying, but the quotations given by our acharyas, that can be churned, because 4% of the Upanishads are only existing now, and to get them from library, it's a big endeavor. So the quotations which has been given, that is connection. So that is why when it is said Bhagavad Gita, when we are studying Bhagavad Gita, it should be studied from the eyes of Bhagavatam. And when you study Bhagavatam, it should be in the eyes of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Actually, all the three are interconnected. You cannot just say one, I will study there. When we are studying, immediately you should quote. Initially, it will not happen. As and when, after maybe 5-6 years of nice seva, of it's in Bhagavatam seva, everyday studying, then slowly that connection is understood. That is memorizing the verses, writing the quotations, which quotations Prabhupada has given in which way. That is 108. You have that book, no? 108 important verses. Selected verses from different Upanishads. That study also, if we do, that is like a big thing.
Okay.
Has quoted those verses. Okay.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Stop here.
Hare Krishna, Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hari Bol. Savita Karte. Hari Bol.